right? So she pulls this stunt,
Yeah.
leaves, and then gonna come back and be like, it's gonna be done, everything's gonna be settled. I'm just gonna go to work, and it's gonna be fine. No, no, no. If they who I think they are, what they think they are, they're gonna wait till she gets back from vacation, and then they're gonna move. And she's gonna be like, wait, you guys haven't moved already? And they're like, nope,
Nope.
we have not.
No, we have not.
That's what I would do. I would just wait. And I'd be like, oh, I forgot.
Cause like so here's the thing. I feel like as a leader, and I am learning a leadership lesson without being a leader here. Because what do you do as a leader when you clearly see some bullshit? Like you clearly see one of your fellow leaders on real bullshit, and you are seeing how this person's behavior is impacting the office. So you're seeing how it's not you who's doing this, but the behaviors of someone else is spilling over into other people's stuff.
Because
Like when
you got to keep a united
spending...
front.
Go ahead.
I'm saying, like, between the leadership, like they all got to be united, even if there's dissension. So you got to do things that show that you're upset, but are like, okay, yeah, I'm in agreement that we're going to move. That is fine, but I'm gonna make this move as hard as possible.
And or do you how loudly do you state that you didn't make this decision, that this is them? I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I think that depends on person. I believe as a leader, I would tell my team, like, hey guys, I don't know where this came from, but we got to move. Like, I'd be very clear that I am just as confused as you are. And that's how I would play it.
So the thing is, so here's the thing. Most people who know about the situation know that this one person is the ringleader of wanting the shuffle. Like it is public knowledge that this person is the one who really pushed for this.
Yeah,
because
but those are the undertones.
Huh?
I'm saying, like, people know underneath the surface. It's not like this person got on the table and was like, yo, we moving. Like, this is...
No.
They did?
They was basically like that, yeah.
Oh, well then...
Like everyone's director was basically like, yeah, no, XYZ pushed for this. And then everyone underneath him was like, yeah. Put like this. The only communications about this came from XYZ. And it was the same XYZ.
Well then... I feel like as a leader, if that's the case, then there's really not much you need to do to show that you are not in agreement.
Oh, you just got to sit back. Yeah, which I guess in a way is what. So at the beginning, like last Friday, I was kind of upset with old buddy who told me, because I'm like, yo, because in my mind I was like, yo, you just bow down and bitched out like that. And then I thought about it. I was like, yo, if you know how that person reacts when people react to her, then my solution is the worst solution. Maybe this solution is the one.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because if you get on the fuck out of here train, or he or she's gonna play victim.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't be outwardly, what's the word I'm looking for? Confrontational. Like you can't be aggressive, especially if this person is a certain, I'll be very careful with my words. Yes, you can't be outwardly aggressive and you can't be outwardly confrontational. Like it has to be extremely subtle. Not a real. I would probably like, I don't know why we move in. Go talk to her, them, they, him.
No, exactly. Like, yo, if you have any questions about this move, please go to XYZ. Here's the thing. Here's the funnier thing, and as someone who's kind of worked in offices, I think you're going to appreciate this. So there's always someone who's in charge of seating charts, right?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
So how about everyone's moved, or most people have moved, but there has yet to be an official seating chart ever released, and that is how most people know that this was done the rogue way, because the person who handles seating charts, guess what? That person who, like in our building, the person who normally does that role was just hired last week. Everyone started moving 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep.
This had been in discussion for months. So just put that out there.
Now, are there massive team meetings between all the groups?
Yes, there's all team meetings.
So this is what I would ask. I would not you, but I would say, can someone explain to us in the next team meeting why we're doing this? And I would not ask that until that person is back. Because
Like
I'd say
ask it
something
in
like
that meeting.
I'm having a real hard time understanding. Oh, we've been doing this a couple weeks. Things are pretty much the same. I'm just having a hard time understanding why we did this. Can someone explain it in the team meeting? And I promise you, those other leaders are gonna look at that person and be like,
Ooh, I got an even better way to ask it, because if I ask it in that way, they're gonna know why I'm asking. The room's gonna know just off of contextually how I ask.
yes,
But if I come in and structure it as, I want to know how you're feeling about the new move and the new energy in the building. Like, are you noticing a new uptick
that's
in
it.
energy
That's
after
it.
after the move?
That's it. But again, there's
But
got to be
everyone else in the room is going to start looking around.
because but there's got to be a way to ask, and we can brainstorm this throughout the night and over the next couple weeks. The why,
Yeah.
or what were the
Their,
goals
their
for
their
the?
their reasoning was to increase team productivity. Mind you, everyone said I can just continue to walk to my teammates and continue to meet them in the meeting rooms where we have our meetings, which aren't at our desk.
So a secret, because I used to be in charge when we worked together. I was in charge of moves. I was in charge of seating charts. There is no uptick in productivity. It is just a lie to get people closer together.
I
There,
wish people would just say, yo, I want to sit closer to XYZ. Because a person like me would say, this is not a popularity contest. This is your job. Go to lunch with them. If you do not sit with them already and y'all don't need, like, y'all aren't on like a same team, go to lunch or go
I,
sit in a common area. That'd be the other thing. All these places have common areas.
Mhm.
Go to a common area and sit down and just don't go to your desk.
I'm telling you, it's a scam. As someone who had to be in charge of that stuff, it was always phrased under, we need to be closer, but productivity does not increase because you cannot measure productivity in that manner. Like, they think productivity as efficiency, and in a on a team and in a world where creativity is the foundation, you cannot measure productivity via efficiency.
Yeah. Because there have been, yo, I'm not gonna lie, and you tell me this.
Say what?
Has there been periods of your job, whether it's been a week, maybe a week and a half, where you just were not productive at all in any way, shape, or form, and then maybe like you'll snap out of it and go on like a 1 or 2 day crazy productive streak where you'll just knock out a shit ton of work, and then you'll be stuck there for like a next week or so, like being unproductive because you've done so much work.
Yeah, and that's how, again, when you work in a field that's rooted in creativity like yours, it just ebb and flows, right? Because there are some days, yes, you're just working and you look up and it's 4 o'clock, and there are some days you look up and it's 9:30 and you feel like you've been there for 6 years.
Yeah, some days you've been working forever, and then you're just like, yo, I gotta play some college football 25 to pass the
Yeah.
time. This is ridiculous. Yeah, man, it's just you know what? I'm glad I've been talking about you, talking to you throughout this whole situation, because you can actually say you have, I guess, heard all the progressions of the situation, so you can really hear, as someone who knows me, knows the field that I work in, that no matter where you go or who you work for, you always gonna deal with some bullshit.
Always. That's always other duties is assigned in the job description. That's just professional talk for bullshit.
Yeah. Makes you and every time I go through one of these, I'm like, yo, I know what type of leader I am going to be when my time comes. Like, there are going to be things that I feel like there are going to be things that I'm going to stand on business about, and there are going to be things where I just come back to my team and just be like, honestly, what Wesley Stipes say is this bigger than me. This is bigger than me.
And that's why I have no desire to be in leadership. None.
I don't. I wanna lead, but I really want to lead so that I can
Make more
hear
money.
people. Well, yes, so I can hear people's problems and tell them that they acting like some bitch ass MFers, and we got to start toughening up. But I want to do it professionally and in a way maybe not as vulgar as that, but I feel like a lot of people out here are soft, or they're lost, or both, or they lack the ability to just see a blank canvas but know a prompt and draw something. They don't know where to start. They start asking questions. Like, no, don't ask questions. See it and just start.
Just
and
go.
We can go from there. Just see it and go. And I think I can do good at that.
I look forward to seeing your career progress.
Hey, listen, I might be back in the 804 one of these days as a leader. Listen, my old employer might be calling me one of these days, and unless they come in with that bag,
which they not, right now.
They still not paying nobody.
They still ain't paying nobody.
They still ain't paying nobody. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 159 of Speak On It. When you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. Of course, every Tuesday, joined by the smoothest bald head on the East Coast, my brother, Danny Ocean.
How you living?
Now, I'm living good, man. Well, I'm living decently. We're going to talk about it, but there's a lot of bullshit that happened football-wise with my teammates. Between Virginia Tech and Green Bay, I just want to know, did anybody that I root for outside of the Alabama Crimson Tide know that they had a football game to play this weekend?
Can we talk about Virginia Tech? I know it's later on the rundown, but that was a catch. Like, I tweeted a suit. That was a catch.
Yo. Here's the thing. Let's talk about it. First off, before I talk about the play that ended the game, I want to say that game was lost long before that bullshit ass call. Brent Pry, if you have a chance to go up, I believe it was either 10 points, 13 points, or 17 points, and you choose to go for the fake field goal, you deserve to lose. There were so many terrible, piss poor fucking calls by Brent Pry this past Friday night at Hard Rock Stadium that it was honestly unbelievable. Mind you, this is his third year. Third or fourth. Yo, like dog. What are we talking about with some of this play calling and decision making and clutch time? Even with all that being said, we still had a chance to win the game. Now, referees, I need y'all to tell me something. When y'all say indisputable video evidence, how do you get enough evidence to overturn something that you already called a catch, but barely had enough evidence to say that it really wasn't a catch, but apparently had enough evidence to say it wasn't a catch?
That's what got me.
No new angles from when you said it was a catch to when it wasn't a catch, but apparently now you have indisputable evidence that says it wasn't a catch. The guy who punched it out was out of bounds. He landed with ball, butt down, in bounds. From my knowledge, play should be blown dead there.
What is it? 1 cheek, 2 feet?
One cheek, 2 feet, bitches.
Yeah. Like,
are you shitting me?
Whatever the call on the field was,
should have stood.
It should have stood. So if you called it incomplete,
I would have been down with the incomplete pass.
But that was a catch, and there was no replay. They wanted to make it out Miami alive because that was a catch. Even I thought it was a catch. As soon as it happened, I text you, and I was like, "No way." And then I
was like, "There's no way." I was like, "That's not a catch." Then when they ruled it a catch, I said, "Oh, they're not gonna have enough to overturn that because indisputable." Yo, what I promise y'all is in another game, in another game this season, something similar is gonna happen, and they're gonna rule it. They're gonna stay with the call on the field, and I might drive. You know what? I can't say that.
And it's going to be a championship game. It has to be. It's going to be it's going to be a conference championship game. It's going to be something that decides something major.
And everyone's going to say, well, y'all ruled it like this in the Virginia Tech game. And it's very, very similar. Why don't y'all keep it the same? Here's something that made me laugh. I had a coworker who I found out is a college football official part-time.
Oh, so what was his take on it?
He said they had more than enough evidence to overturn that. I said, no, you sticking up for the feds.
Yeah. There's no way. Like, there was nothing. Like, even the broadcast was like, I don't know. I think this has to stand.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing to overturn. That was a
Nothing
catch.
goes.
That was 100% a catch. I thought it was a catch.
Listen, Virginia Tech, again, that game was lost well before that play, though. So,
shout out to baby Jalen Hurts. Your quarterback is baby Jalen. He wear one. He look like Jalen. He runs like Jalen. He throws like Jalen.
Yeah. Decision making like Jalen, too?
Yeah, decision making like Jalen, too.
We about to talk about it. Listen, what week are we in the NFL? Week 4?
This is week 4. We are 4 weeks in.
4 weeks of the NFL. I mean, we had a doubleheader of Monday night games last night. Let's start with the Dolphins versus the Titans. Yo,
Christ.
Roger should have put in the call. We should have listen. Nobody in America should have been watching that game last night between the Dolphins and the Titans. That was a stink fest.
Thank God there are 2 games. Thank God there were 2. Because my God, if we had to watch.
You think Will Levis gets his job back?
Yeah. Who else you gonna put in there? The coach already said Will Levis is gonna remain because they're on the bye week. He said Will Levis can keep the job until the bye because you know why? Carson Beck is on the way. He said, "Sit tight, please."
Wait a minute. As if Carson Beck's going to be any better.
Carson Beck said, "I know Bama won, but he had the lead. Carson left the field with the lead."
No, he didn't. Georgia was never winning in that game.
Georgia had the lead in the 4th. They came back.
Nah.
They did, or they tied it. Did they tie it or they had the lead? I thought Carson Beck left the field with the lead.
Hold on. We'll find out right now. Keep talking.
But yeah, that Miami-Tennessee game was disgusting. I wish there was a way to bet on turnovers in FanDuel because I would always take the over on Jalen and I will always take the over on Will Levis because every week those 2 guys just have something in your – well, Will more so than Jalen. Like, Will Levis plays football like he's a D3 quarterback in the NFL. Like, he is a freshman in the NFL. Like, he's doing stuff that high schoolers get benched for. It's hilarious, but it's not my cup of tea. Give Tony Powell the ball because I need those fantasy points.
Oh, you're actually very right.
Yeah. Carson.
They did. Okay, they had a 1-point lead at the 2:31 mark in the 4th,
and then they threw that bomb. Yeah, that's 70 yards.
Literally, the very next play, 75-yarder from Ryan Williams and Jalen Milroe, and then
Carson
then UGA starts driving a little bit, then they get picked off.
Yeah.
So
I know Carson Beck left the field with the lead.
Listen, man. Listen. Carson Beck is just Will Levis looking in the mirror at his younger self. We don't need to see that again. Listen, Titans, here's what I'm going to say. Don't lose your locker room trying to get a better quarterback.
Titans, do not draft a quarterback. Travis Hunter going to be sitting right there.
What are they going to do with Travis Hunter?
Put him at corner opposite L'Jarius Sneed.
Nah, they need wide receivers.
Nah, Travis a corner. Speaking
of teams that need corners, the Seahawks and the Lions last night. Let me tell you something.
Beautiful.
Listen? What's funny is before the game, I had completely forgotten that each time these teams play over the last 4 or 5 years, it is always a random ass track meet.
Hopefully, I don't know in the playoffs.
It's like those old Eli versus Drew Brees matchups when it used to be like 35-42, and you're just like, wait a minute, what is it about the Saints and the Giants that just causes points to be scored like this?
Beautiful football, man. That game was a lot of fun. It's funny. Everyone's like, those Lions jerseys are hard and they are gorgeous, but they just the Buffalo Bulls jerseys. Google the Buffalo jerseys that the college team wear. It's the same jersey.
Oh. Buffalo Bulls.
Buffalo Bulls. That's where Khalil Mack went to college. It's the same jersey.
Yeah.
It's the same jersey. It was like, oh man, them Lions jerseys hard. They over in Buffalo, like, yo, we wearing these for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly what they are.
It's the
Actually,
same jersey.
they're black ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they still go hard. The helmets are what set it off, but that Lions game was Ben Johnson's going to be able to pick his pick of the litter, man. That offense has not
I
only been.
I
You
don't listen.
disagree?
Listen. I think Ben Johnson, if he's smart, stay in Detroit for as long as don't rush out there.
Ben
Don't rush.
Johnson.
If he's smart and has been watching the landscape of what's been going on in Charlotte and in Chicago, then you know that. Listen, sometimes it's better just to be the coordinator. Just focus on the
I am
offense.
not
Just
talking
focus on
about
the
those
offense and keep
dumpster
getting pay raises.
fires. So I'm not talking about them dumpster fires. There's a team in Pennsylvania that needs a smart offensive mind.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Make sure I'm sitting up nice and right.
Yeah, sit up
Because
right.
because ladies and gentlemen, not too long ago, we had the world's biggest Nick Sirianni believer over here.
Yes,
and
we
now
did.
what I think I'm hearing is somebody's off the Nick Sirianni bandwagon, like the rest of us, who saw when he had that doofy ass look on his face crying at the Super Bowl during the national anthem that this guy is the biggest white boy joke of all time, that he just so happens to be a Guido frat bro coaching the Philadelphia Eagles. Please tell us how you finally see what we've been trying to tell you about Nick Sirianni.
Well, a couple of things. That was a bit harsh. Secondly, what does he do well?
Tell me.
I don't know.
He
used to be the culture guy, right? Like the vibes are always great, and now that's not the case. So what do you do?
Tell me more about this comment Jalen Hurts made. We have our days.
We have our moments. Oh yeah. So the question was, Jalen, as you and Nick go into the bye week, do you have conversations about the messaging that you should display to the team? And Jalen said, we have our moments. If that doesn't tell me how much he hates Nick Sirianni, I don't know what will.
I don't really understand his answer though. Like I don't understand the question and the answer.
So the question is like, how do you and Nick get together to come up with a message for the team for the rest of the season so the ship doesn't sink? His response is, we have our moments. And for those Eagles fans who have been paying attention, Jalen has been asked multiple times over the past 8 to 12 months his feelings on Nick Sirianni. He never gives a straight answer. It's never like like the other players like, yo, we love Nick. Nick does this. Nick is great. Even AJ Brown is stuck up for Nick. And Jalen's like, that's not my man. I don't know him.
Does he really say that? Can you
like he does not stick up for Nick Sirianni at all. Like he does not care for Nick. I mean, you read that Tim McManus article. Like Nick needs a coordinator to be like the go-between between him and Jalen because they really don't talk to each other.
What did Jalen say after the Falcons game?
He wasn't asking about Sirianni during the Falcons game. This one, like Sunday, he was directly asked about Sirianni and the messaging that they're going to that they're going to give to the team off the bye week to go on a run. And he's like, we have our moments. What does that even mean?
Yeah, no, you took the question right from me. So do you think this is a signal that we got to
Oh, yeah, he out. Like he has to win the Super Bowl. Or he has to make the NFC Championship game. Like making the playoffs is not enough. Because they're not going to get the 1 seed. So you can.
Well, who knows?
I don't think they might make a run for the 1 seed, but I just think now, I think Detroit's better right now. Like Detroit is the class of the NFC right now.
What is it about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and how come whenever y'all seem to play them, they just find new ways to stump a mud hole through y'all with and without Tom Brady?
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about Todd Bowles. He don't like it. I don't know, man.
He be out there confusing Jalen Hurts. That's what it is.
I mean, defense give up 21 in the first quarter. Shit. Well, what Jalen's supposed to do about that? Now, granted, the offense is off the terrible start. But damn, dog, I need something from the defense. Like at least for the offense, you could say Lane was out, AJ was out, Devontae was out. Like you're missing 3 of your top 5 weapons. The defense, everybody was healthy. Where the fuck was Jalen Carter big ass at?
Same. You mean the same Jalen Carter who you was bigging up last week?
I mean, he played great against the Saints. Did he not? He wrecked that game. But that's a schematic thing. We're not going into
What
schematic.
do you think about Kyle asking, will Sirianni get a chance to win another Super Bowl for one? And what do you think about Bam asking if Belichick is up for a coaching job, maybe in the city of brotherly love?
So I'll answer Kyle first. I think he will. Here's the thing about people who are saying fire Nick Sirianni right now. If you fire him right now, that means you should have fired him in February because it's only week 4. Like if you fire him now, you might as well have done it early in the winter and got it over with. Like he's going to last.
They didn't know how bad it was going to get back then.
But if you're going to, because you know this could have been 2-2 was a possibility, right? If you fire him now, you just look like a dysfunctional organization. He's going to be that. He's going to be the coach of the Eagles until the Eagles are out of it. Like if it's week 13 and they're outside looking in wild card, yeah, get him the fuck out of here. But he's going to have every chance to make this right. So I don't think Nick's going anywhere right now. And Bam, Belichick will not be the head coach of Philadelphia Eagles. That's not going to happen.
Why not?
Bill Belichick, Bill keeps saying he doesn't want control of the front office. At some point he will. Howie Roseman has already been kicked to the curb for Chip Kelly. It's not happening again, man. It's not. The Eagles hire coaches who have never coached before because it's easier to control. Like they hired Doug Peterson without any head coaching experience, Nick Sirianni without any coaching experience. If Nick Sirianni is gone, I assure you they will throw the kitchen sink at Ben Johnson because he has never been a head coach before. Like that's their MO. They don't go hire the name.
What's wrong with coach wanting some say in personnel?
Because that's how we shop. That's how Howie makes his living. Like out of all the GMs in the NFL,
yeah, but I'm the coach. You just can't just be like, I gotta have some sort of say.
And that's why they want a head coach who has never been a head coach before. Like they're just happy to be here.
But even in that, I feel like at some point you still would want my input of what type of
players. Yeah, 100%. But be rest assured that Howie's leading the charge. Look at B League.
So B League said, "How's that expensive fullback going? Surely they're 4-0 with him."
That's
who's
hate. He's talking about Saquon because he a Giants fan. Listen, buddy, I love Saquon. I'm sorry, your bum ass franchise fumbled the best thing that ever happened to you since Eli retired.
Well, hey, they have some pieces on offense though.
Yeah, but who's running the show?
Hey, Daniel Jones ain't looked the worst out there. It's quiet as kept.
Oh, really? 1-3 isn't bad.
Hey, he ain't. Listen, there's only but so many things he can do, but he been doing his part. Now, I will say this: where Daniel Jones is really going wrong, and which is kind of like a microcosm of his career. He's leading drives to a lot of threes, not enough 6s and 7s.
Because he isn't capable. B League, how about this? You worried about Huff and Dotson? Worry about your own bum ass franchise. You worry about those bums in New York who haven't won. When's the last time you guys won a division title?
Jets or Giants?
The Giants. I think MAGA Man was on his first presidential run. He was just starting that racism.
Maybe I was the 2016 year when Rodgers and them went in there and beat him.
Let's see. We have a machine that can tell us.
They might have been 10-6 or something along those lines.
Let's see. Last time Giants won MCs, 2011. That can't be right. No, there's no way. 2011, they won at 9-7. So there's someone who was born in 2011, and they've been a Giants fan their entire life, and they've never seen their team win the division.
Hey, we can't team shame
because we can't.
It's a team game.
The Commanders have won a division title more recently than the Giants.
I want to shout out people like myself who came out here and said, poor man's Kyler Murray is not a better QB than Jaden Daniels, and the tape says so.
Who's poor man's Kyler Murray? Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Told y'all.
The Commanders are fun. I need to see it against a good team.
I mean, how much better than the teams? Some of the teams they've beaten.
They played the Cardinals.
Okay, French playoff team.
Don't think the Cardinals are good. Oh, hold on. Let's pull up their schedule. I know they beat the Bengals. That was an impressive win. If you think the Bengals are good, they got
Exactly.
stomped by the Bucks too, and they beat the Giants by 3. They played the Browns on Sunday. Then they play the Ravens. Okay, in Baltimore. That'll be a good one.
Damn. Speaking of teams in that division, the NFC East, do you think the Cowboys are right at the ship?
No. You barely beat the Giants. Like if they went to New York and like shellacked them, like the way the Buccaneers did the Eagles, I'll have a conversation. I'll say it again. What did the Cowboys do this offseason to give everyone all this hope that they are a good team? Their running back is 3,000 years old.
All right, relax on Zeke. What are your thoughts on Malik Neighbors?
Offensive Rookie of the Year. I hope B League isn't gone yet. I know he said goodnight. Malik Neighbors, the truth, man. That Thursday night game, the offense was, where's Malik?
Where is Malik? Throw him the ball.
Him.
Now, do you still have Marvin Harrison Jr. as best receiver in class from last year?
I think he scored more touchdowns than Malik, right? But Malik has been more productive between the 20s, if I'm not mistaken, right? We're here to score touchdowns.
Malik Neighbors.
That fade route he called Saturday, Sunday against the Commanders. Oof.
But I would say Malik Neighbors, the way he's featured just across the field, I mean, whew.
So Kyle's saying Jaden Daniels will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think that I need to. It's easier for the quarterback win because the ball is always in their hands. But man, like Malik, every single game Malik makes a play or two. Not to say that Jaden doesn't.
Jaden just had a few NFL records, including rookie ones. So
I'll say this: it's easier for Jaden to lose the award more so than Malik, because Jaden can have a slump. Like he can have a 4-game slump, he's out of here. Malik can have a 4-game slump, and it's like, well, Daniel's not throwing him the ball.
Really?
I like Malik more than Jaden Daniels, but maybe I'm being a hater. But Jaden Daniels is great.
Oh yeah, you definitely being a hater.
I didn't say Jaden Daniels was bad.
When did the Commanders play the Eagles?
They played the Eagles on a Thursday night game. I know that for sure. Yeah, they play the Eagles on November 14th. I believe that is the Thursday night game. And then the Eagles go December 22nd to D.C. Oh, that's not going to be good. That field is terrible. Because that field is terrible. It's even worse in the winter. It'll be fine, though. It'll be fine.
You going to go?
No, I refuse for my first NFL game to be in that stadium. I am, on the other hand, thinking about they play the Jaguars on a Thursday night. I am thinking about going to that game because I am off the following Monday.
Nah, put some money away. Go to that Dallas game. You know you want to talk. You know you want to see the Eagles and the Cowboys play.
I do
in Philly with the Peoples.
When do they play? Hold on.
Probably
they play in
December.
Yeah. I ain't standing in Philadelphia, Nicole. No, they play. No, that's November 10th in Dallas. When do they play in Philadelphia? You know what I'm also upset about? Yeah, they play December 29th in Philly. The Eagles-Cowboys game, we talk about this. It's not a Sunday night game. It has to be a Sunday night game.
Neither one?
Neither one. One's a 4:25, but they're not Sunday night games.
Maybe because they had enough of the Cowboys in prime time, and they didn't want to hear Chris Collinsworth there talking about some. Now here's a guy.
That's true. Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Do you think the Packers have a legit shot at the NFC North title?
I think the Green Bay Packers are the best team in the NFC North. I think the Vikings are bitch made and foolproof, and I think the Vikings. Listen, I think the Vikings are just. I mean, I think the Lions are just. Wait, which one did I just say is bitch made? The Lions or the Vikings?
You said the Vikings are bitch made.
I think the Lions are just lucky.
I mean, they did go to the NFC title game last year, and they did have the lead against San Francisco until they just choked it away.
Ask them who came into their house on Thanksgiving and beat that ass.
I mean, that was last year.
which kickstarted a huge momentum shift. Hey, I believe this loss, this very close loss, might be the loss that gets my team going.
Jordan Love looked great in the comeback. Because you know what? Sunday, I was watching the Eagles game, and I was like, oh, at least the Packers are getting shellacked too. And then I looked down, and both teams are making a comeback, and one team made it interesting, and the other did not.
I'm sitting there. Listen, I'm sitting. I'm just. I was sitting there, and I was like, 28-0. I was like, yo, hold on. Do the Green Bay Packers know that there is a football game being played in Lambeau Field? No. Here's when I knew. That touchdown to Justin Jefferson had me so hot. Like, what? Yo, he put threaded that on the money right to the 1 and the 8. I was sitting there like, okay, Sam Darnold is good.
Sam Darnold said, yeah, I'm throwing the Jettas. It's easy. And Kyle, the NFC Championship game was in January. So that was in 2024. Thanksgiving was in 2023. So
they asked, though. They both asked, though. Lions
so you think do y'all play them on Thanksgiving again?
I hope so. I want to beat their ass again, but probably on like a regular Thursday.
All right. I hear you talking. Shout out to Jordan Love for wearing that Brett Favre jersey and then giving us the most Brett Favre performance ever.
Yo, that first half just looked like a QB who had missed some time. But that second half,
who y'all got this week?
Who do we have this week? I have to look that one up.
Oh, Bam said Jordan, Aiden Hutchinson's gonna eat Jordan Love alive. Sounds like some smack talk from the Detroit side of the house.
It sounds like that boy Freaky.
Good Lord. Cal said y'all play the Rams.
Rams, that's what it is.
So you should win that because there's no Puka and there's no Cooper Cup. You should win that.
Yeah, but I don't know that. I don't.
Come on, you can't say the Vikings are bitch made and then turn around and be like, I don't know if we could beat the Rams without Puka and Cooper.
You know what? You're right. Listen, we about to have curried goat on Sunday. Call it a ram.
Do that.
Call it a ram. We having curried goat on that field. Packers, I cannot believe that shit, man. 2-2. Oh man, I feel like the only team who's probably sicker about the way they lost are the Saints. The Saints lost one of the funniest games I've ever seen in my life.
But they
were trying to give that game away.
But they're supposed to be. All right, man. The NFC South is hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Who do you still?
Go ahead.
You had the Bucks win the NFC South, right? I had the Falcons. You had the Bucks, right? If I'm not mistaken. Do you still feel that way? Because I kind of want to change it to the Bucks because I feel like they're the only adults in the room. But Baker Mayfield is their quarterback.
Well, no, I had the Falcons winning the division at 10-7.
Okay, so we both had the Falcons. Yeah. I still believe in the Falcons, but I'm real close to because the Bucks feel like the only adults in the room. Granted, they lost to the Broncos 2 weeks ago, though. So
I like Bo Nix. No, I mean not Bo Nix.
I was about to be like, after that stat line he put up Sunday, you out here repping Bo Nix?
Hey, first off, a win's a win, not Bo
Nix. A win is a win.
Andy Dalton. I like Andy Dalton. You don't think the Panthers can make some shake?
Nah, I don't. That roster's too young. That roster doesn't have enough blue chip talent. Like it has okay talent, but who in that? Say what?
You think Derek Carr is starting to look like the Derek Carr that we knew and loved?
Yes. Y'all up here 2 weeks. Oh man, Derek Carr. I say he can't keep it up. That he is the last time Derek Carr played like an MVP, he got hurt in Oakland. We ain't never seen it again.
You said so. You saying he got injured in the mediocrity?
No, I'm saying he was playing out of his mind. He was playing so well, his body was like, we can't do this.
Really?
Hey man, Derek Carr been in the league 10 years. We know who he is.
What's the most Derek Carr's won?
I'm sure he's won a few. Has he ever won a division title?
No, Not while Patty's in
I was
there.
about to say not while Patty was there, but he was in the league before Patty.
He may have won a few playoff games.
Let's see. I think he's won a playoff game. Let's see. No, he's 0-1 in the playoffs. He lost to Cincinnati in 2022.
I remember that.
Wow. All right, let's see how many division titles he has. I think he has one.
We're the Parkers doing the things and doing things. Come on, was you not a yo? Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Why, when you look back and watch the Parkers, you don't think it was kind of crazy that Monique was so just outwardly horny for someone like that for so long?
She was sexually harassing that man for years.
Years, right?
Years.
Like,
But you know
like,
what? She beat him down.
but he could file something, right? If he really wanted to.
Oh, he could have filed something. Season 1, episode 1.
Crazy. Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Were you watching the game live? So I'm watching the game, and I see when he goes down. I'm like, damn, that looks like it kind of hurt. And I'm like, 15 minutes later, he's back in the game, or 2 plays later, he's back in the game. And I was like, wait a minute, what? All right. So here's what I said. As soon as he starts running back in there, I literally said, yo, please, I hope they stop running the QB runs. Like, they don't even need to be doing this. First play, QB run, gets hurt.
But that's the appeal of Anthony Richardson, right? That was the whole thing coming out of college. He has a big arm. He's big and strong. He can run. You can't take that out of. You can't take that. You got to live with it. That's part of it. That's part of it. That was part of the whole thing. Him coming out. His running should be able to cover up some of his passing deficiencies until he catches up.
Bam said something interesting. He said Sam Darnold got better. Derek Carr can't change.
I mean, I guess. But you putting is that what you want to put?
The day
your money on?
The day Derek Carr throws for like 5,200 yards, I'll do something strange for a piece of change.
That's crazy.
I'll do something strange for a piece
That's
of change.
crazy.
What are your thoughts about Joe Flacco coming in and handle business?
I mean, Joe Flacco does Joe Flacco things. Joe Flacco gonna come in. You know your floor. Your floor might be a little bit higher with Joe Flacco than Anthony Richardson, but your ceiling is a lot lower too. Like Joe gonna flame out, and you know how he gonna flame out. You know where he gonna flame out.
Like gonna get you to the playoffs, and then he gonna.
Yep. Anthony Richards' floor is lower, but his ceiling, again, I just go back to that throw to Alec Pierce week 1 when he's falling. He fell, he ends up and just yeet.
That just shows how easy it is for him. The game's that easy for him.
If it was that easy,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he wouldn't have the lowest completion percentage in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken.
Speaking of teams, this road will not get easier for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, we know what's about to happen. The script writers are doing a terrible job this year.
Trading Devontae Adams to the Chiefs?
I hope the Raiders wouldn't do it. Hey, but you know what? The Bills helped them get Xavier Worthy, so I don't know.
I don't know if Kansas City even wants to trade with Las Vegas in that capacity.
Oh, yeah. Are you worried about them at all? Even if Rashee Rice is gone for – it doesn't sound like he's going to be on for the rest of the year, but it sounds like it's going to be an extended period of time. Are you concerned?
Got me locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out.
That's just how great he is, and that's how great that defense is.
That's what
that defense. Nah, that defense is. They might have the best defense in the league.
It just keeps them in every game.
Like, if you can look at your quarterback and say, "Dog, all you gotta do is score 21."
Just that.
Just score. It may be even 17, depending on who you playing.
Say that again? Oh, I think you're breaking up.
Oh, I see. Even you could say, hey, man, 21 won't be great, but we might be able to do something with 17 points.
maybe do something with 17. It just like we just need points. We just need points. We just got to keep the pressure on them so
Yeah.
that you know what I'm saying.
Like Kansas
What is
City can kick field goals. That's the thing, right? Like some teams like, oh, you got to score touchdowns. Kansas City's like, no, we can kick field goals. We're good.
Yeah, as long as we're in striking distance, we'll let you'll burn out before we do.
That's
What is up?
exactly it.
What is up with teams being so unable to play with the lead? You notice how some teams don't really start rocking until they're behind, and now they got to start rocking.
Yeah. I feel like when teams have leads, like big leads, offensive coordinators lose their creativity and they're kind of like, how can we get to the end of the game as fast as we can, instead of like Andy Reid never does that. Andy Reid's like, yo, I don't care if I'm up 50 or down 50. We're running our playbook. We're going to try to score.
We're
And
gonna do
that's
the
what makes
same.
the
We're gonna
Chiefs.
do us. You not moving us off our pivot, y'all. You know what I mean? We're gonna continue to run our up tempo offense, continue to attack. We know if we do our job, our guys will be there to make the plays.
That's right. Right. If we do our job, we don't care what you do. And I feel like some coaches get the lead and they're like, but when you're down, it forces you to be creative. It forces you to like open your playbook and maybe call something that you wouldn't call traditionally because you got to get back in the game.
Yeah, it's funny because you would just think that you could do that from the beginning. Like, why not just get creative from the beginning with your playbook?
Yeah.
Um, the Ravens and the Bills.
Buddy.
It's funny because last week we were coming into that game saying, yo, Buffalo may be the only chance we got at beating Kansas City. And then Baltimore played them. The same Baltimore that Kansas City beat in week 1. But they play Buffalo this weekend. It was never close.
I think Derrick Henry might be the last running back to go to the Hall of Fame for a very long time.
Derrick Henry is the last of the beat you down running backs that we have.
1,000%. 1,000%. He is
the last running backs where you just look and circle that game on the calendar and you just got to shake your head, man. Fuck.
Wear your Guardian cap. Wear your Guardian helmet because you're going to need it, Playboy.
Yeah, you be like, fuck. I got to spend 60 minutes tackling Derrick Henry. Fuck.
Derrick Henry not running no screen. He don't care about running no Texas route. He not lining up in the slot. No, sir. We running an I. We running out of shotgun. Ain't no zone. Ain't no counter. Ain't no duo. It's just straight power. And I'm going to run you over.
What do you think about this one? So Bam says, as a Ravens fan, I would love that, but I think he might go to the Jets with Rodgers to fit more perfectly in Baltimore, though.
Devontae Adams, here's the thing, Bam. And this is not a knock to Lamar Jackson. That offense is not built for a legit wide receiver one.
Or maybe it is, and we just don't know.
Maybe. Baltimore, as good as Pittsburgh is finding wide receivers, Baltimore is terrible at finding wide receivers.
Hey, but they are so quickly able to find defensive players on the regular. It's actually crazy. Meanwhile, my team, I mean,
but your team finds quarterbacks, right? Every team has their thing. You guys haven't had a bad quarterback in 45 years.
What do the Eagles do a good job of finding?
Offensive
Georgia
line.
players?
Offensive line.
Oh.
The Eagles have had an elite offensive line as long as I've been alive, except maybe 3 years.
I thought you were going to say Georgia
specifically left tackles.
What?
Trey Thomas, Jason Peters, Jordan Mailata. Like the Eagles are going to have an elite left tackle. Like that's the Eagles thing.
That's y'all's bread and butter.
The Eagles believe in offensive line. That's the Eagles thing.
Bam said, "All hail the king,
King Henry."
What were your thoughts in the Dynasty League this week?
It was okay. Devontae was out.
Funny thing is, I'm sorry to cut you off. Funny thing is, Ronald Isley's tax returns came in here talking that big old shit last week. Ronald Isley's tax returns was talking like he big man on campus around this mug.
Which
Ronald Isley's tax returns was talking like they about to do something this season.
They are.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to report to you, Ronald Isley's tax returns ain't scaring nobody.
I scored the most points in a loss.
Ronald Isley's tax returns.
I scored the most. I would have beat some of the people who won. I scored. Kyle is in first place. I think it's by a point, right? I think you scored one more point than
Hey,
me.
brother, ain't scared nobody.
All right, man. All right, y'all keep on. And by the way, congratulations, Kyle. Like you've earned first place. That
Yeah,
wasn't a dig at you.
I mean, team is alright.
Yeah,
Team is
Kyle.
alright.
Kyle is in the lead by legitimately 1 point. He has scored 634 points. I have scored 633.
Weak ass points. Y'all just what's it? Y'all just now getting up here. Y'all just now getting up here near the top. Some of us been up
I've been
here.
at the top the whole time. What you talking about?
I've been up here too. And
And this week's gonna be tough, right? Because half my team is on the bye. Like the Eagles are on the bye, the Lions are on the bye. This week's gonna be rough. But when my team is fully loaded, oh, we good.
you ain't scared.
Again, I scored. Thank you, Kyle. 1.4 points. I scored the most points in a loss. This team scores. I ain't worried about that.
So we got 4 3-1 teams, a
Yep.
couple of trio of 2-2 teams, 2 1-3 teams, and my boy Dylan. Woof.
Don't worry, Dylan. I'm gonna reach out to Dylan.
Nah,
But
leave him alone.
he don't do nothing. No, Dylan don't trade. Dylan
Bro,
set his lineup and go home.
he a hairstylist in real life. He ain't got time for this.
You say hairstylist, you mean barber or like a legit hairstylist?
Nah, legit hairstylist.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm looking at my roster, man. Let me tell you something. I think my starting lineup wise, I would put this team versus anybody, and I would say I think I can take anybody. Here's where it gets a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as someone gets injured or bye weeks.
Yeah, like I said, so this bye week here in my starting lineup, here's out on a bye week this week. Jalen Hurts is on a bye. David Montgomery's on a bye. Tony Pollard's on a bye. Devontae Smith is on a bye. Dallas Goedert is on a bye. It's going to be a rough week over here. Ronald has his tax returns, but that's all right, though.
I got to figure out if I want to start playing Chase Brown, maybe over like a Devin Singletary versus the Seahawks, or.
And Christian Watson is hurt because he was my back. So Devontae's out Sunday. Christian Watson leaves the game with an ankle sprain, and I still score 131 points. And Jalen had probably the worst game of the season. Over here at Ronald Isley's tax return, we find a way, and we will continue to find a way.
Damn. I don't even know if I got any more undefeated teams left.
How did you do overall, like throughout your leagues?
4-5. So this marks 3 weeks in a row that I am 4-5. Hold on. I might have. Shout out Geno Smith and DK Metcalf.
Did you see DK standing beside Calvin Johnson?
Yo, look like
what's that line? A Chrysler 300 look like a Rolls Royce a Phantom till a Phantom pull up.
Yep, till a Phantom pull up. Yep.
Who said that, by the way?
I think it's Future.
Okay.
I am no longer undefeated in any of my leagues.
Bam, not Christian Kirk heating up. Boy, them Jags 0-4.
2-2. 3-2. 1-2. All right. Sorry, I was looking at fantasy.
No, you're fine. I'm looking at Bam's roster trying to see
Christian Kirk heating up. Bam. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody heating up on Bam's team. Weak ad team. Senior citizen at home team. We got him. Goofle head ad boy.
We got him.
Oh, I've fallen and I can't get up. Head ass team, Kyle. What the fuck is we talking about?
Don't let me win this week.
Kyle, I have 1-4-0 team. Okay, weak ad team. Ain't nobody afraid of you. Kyle's and you catching an L this week.
Fuck are you playing Kyle this week?
I don't matter who I play. They both get in the business.
Okay.
Garbage time will be mine. We already talked about Virginia Tech. Arch Manning is cooking right now down in Texas. I don't know if you've been seeing it, but he's cooking.
I have. Arch Manning will look real good midnight green.
Why? When they invested so much in Jalen Hurts?
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I'm looking ahead at some of the games. Okay. Uh, talked about Bama, Georgia, week 6. Friday night, we have Houston versus TCU. We also have Michigan State versus Oregon. What's more likely to happen in your eyes? Michigan State upsetting Oregon, or a barn burner between TCU and Houston?
I'm saying even though Michigan's traveling across the country, I think one thing that we've noticed is these Big 12 schools against as they're being introduced to the Big 10, they struggle with the physicality of the Big 10. I don't think Michigan State is good, but again, Big 10 football is rooted in physicality. Oregon football or former Pac-12 Oregon football is not.
Sco Ducks.
I'm not saying the Ducks will lose, but I'm saying that's more likely in my mind. Michigan State beating Oregon.
I don't see Oregon losing to Michigan State. I do see TCU and Houston being the most random barn burner we've seen on a Thursday night in quite some time. I see it as like a 56-53 type game.
Man, the Friday night games are like the best part of the week. Because like you get a football game, a college game, and it's like, oh man, I get to do this again tomorrow.
And I get to do this and Sunday.
But NFL is different than college. Like I enjoy watching college more than NFL because I don't have any horse in the race. Like I'm really like if UVA wins or ODU, that's great, but it's not like the Eagles. I'm locked in. But like college, you're just here to have fun. Like we're just here for fun.
Nah, I like the speed of the NFL game.
Yeah, but you can feel the energy of a college game.
That's true. All right, let's get to the games on Saturday. Number 9, Mizzou travels to College Station.
Do you trust A&M? Because I don't.
No, give me the Mizzou Tigers all the way.
Yes.
Here's an interesting one. SMU coming off a big win last week versus Florida State. They traveled to number 22 Louisville, who comes off a loss versus Notre Dame last week. Their first ACC road game.
Yep.
Your thoughts? Who wins this one?
SMU, I believe, is a year away before being ACC contenders, but I think they beat Louisville.
If y'all know me, y'all know my team in my college football dynasty is SMU. They're making me a fan.
Do you taking SMU too?
I'm taking SMU in the upset at Louisville, but don't be surprised if Louisville finds a way to pull one out. Natty rematch. Number 10 Michigan travels to Seattle to play Washington.
This game's not going to be interesting. Michigan, the physicality is going to be too much. Michigan, it feels like watching Denard Robinson all over again, but you know what? They're going to run the ball and they're going to punch you in the face.
I think until Michigan has to play someone like an Ohio State who can match their physicality, athleticism, and be able the recruits are able to get, I think it's going to be hard. We saw what they look like versus Texas. I don't think that's an anomaly. I got Michigan losing this one to Washington.
Oh, you got Michigan losing. Okay. What's the final score? Is it a blowout or is it field goal?
14-17.
Okay.
Number 8 Miami versus Cal. Central Florida versus University of Florida. Which game do you think has more likelihood to be a barn burner?
UCF and UF. Because neither UCF thinks they're good. No, UF thinks they're good. They're not. And UCF is better than people think.
UCF, I think what scared people away from UCF was that Colorado loss. What was your thoughts about that?
I was surprised. I did not expect Colorado to win like that.
They beat up on them teams.
I did not expect Colorado. But you're right. Colorado does beat up. Well, UCF in the Big 12 now, right? Mm-hmm. That was a conference game.
Maybe that's why that game was bigger than anticipated.
I was shocked. The only thing I got from that game is Travis Hunter. It's going to be hard to keep the Heisman away from him no matter what the record is at Colorado.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. You think so?
It's going to be hard because it's supposed to be for the best player in college football. I know it usually goes to the quarterback of the best team, but who is that right now? We're going to give it to Jalen Milroe? Maybe. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but what Travis is doing, he's playing both sides of the ball. It's not like he's playing a couple He's playing every snap.
Bam said the Big Ten changed an officiating protocol today. Do you know anything
I
about
don't
that?
know about that. What is that, Bam? And Kyle said he enjoys,
Indubiously enlighten us.
Kyle's gonna enjoy some
Friday
Canadian
night,
football
we do
Friday
have
night.
Blue Bombers at Tiger Cats. Clemson versus FSU in Tallahassee. Are we on upset Are we on upset alert?
Never. Florida State is. I kind of want to ask Florida State leadership. Do you want to leave the ACC now? Because after you didn't get in, there was all this hooting and hollering about we need to leave the ACC, and now you cheeks. Now you lucky to be in the ACC.
Do you think an ACC school would still like? What do you think the temperament around the other ACC schools are?
What do you mean? Like how they feel about having them there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it's okay. I'm just interested to see for sports that aren't football, right? Because now Stanford is in the ACC.
Stanford and
Cal
Cal,
is in,
which is why this game at Cal is big.
yeah, but see, for football, you play once a week. Now, what happens when the tennis team has a match against, the Stanford tennis team has a match against Louisville, Tech, Miami? Do they fly across the country and just stay there for that week, or do you keep going back and forth, right? Like that. I don't know how long athletic departments are going to
I think depends on the
continue.
sport and depends on the travel time. I think a lot of the I foresee a lot of the programs starting to leave a day earlier than they did before, but also at the same time, I feel like the teams are working through transportation and so on and so forth.
And I'm saying that you're going to see a lot of these programs that don't make money get cut because they're not going to pay. Like, think of it from an athletic director's point of view, right? You're the athletic director at Stanford. Your field hockey team has to fly to Miami. Your tennis team is flying to Louisville. Your soccer team has got to fly to Boston College. Like that shit add up. Like the thing about being in a conference is you're supposed to be able. It's a short flight or a short drive. Like that's kind of the whole reason behind it. So I'm intrigued to see over the years are these universities going to continue to pay for stuff like that, because I don't think they are.
Wouldn't be listen, feels like everybody's trying to get their lick back.
Well, we're going to get to a place where a new conference is going to have to be born with some of these teams. Like the SMU is fine, right? Because Texas ACC, like you can live with that. But some of these, like who's in the Big Ten now? That like Washington. I mean, the Pac-12 essentially, like something. Now, granted, the Pac-12 is starting to pull itself together. I think Gonzaga joined today, and some other teams. I'm just intrigued to see how this unfolds for those West Coast teams that join the ACC.
Until they bring back the Pac-12 originally, this is the new standard.
Oh, why didn't you join the Big 12? Well, you have to be invited to join, so it's not like you can just join.
What about oh man, there's another matchup on here that I actually didn't put on our notes. Let me see if I can find it. I wanted to ask you about. You don't watch any playoff baseball, do you?
I love playoff baseball. I don't know what's going on during the regular season, but October baseball is extremely enjoyable. I'm kind of hip to the Phillies because I follow a lot of Eagles reporters, so I kind of know what's going on with them.
Right.
But nah, man, I love playoff baseball. I wish I lived somewhere where there was a playoff baseball game because I would definitely go.
All right. Here's my question. All right. So Syracuse is 3-1.
Yep.
UNLV is 4-0.
Yep.
Kyle McCord, who was the touchdown for the Buckeyes last year, 14 touchdowns, 5 picks.
At UNLV or Syracuse?
UNLV.
They play each other, UNLV and Syracuse?
Yeah, this Friday.
I'm going to take UNLV. That team seems to be a little recharged after old boy decided to quit because the money won't right, which is hilarious.
Hey, he said he had to get to it.
I ain't mad at him.
Minnesota was flagged on an onside kick. They recovered wasn't reviewable, but on replay was obviously the wrong call. Oh, brother.
I did not know onside kicks were not reviewable. That doesn't make sense. Everything else is reviewable. Like every other possession changing play is reviewable. Why wouldn't an onside kick be reviewable?
Because they said it's not part of the rules.
That's crazy.
Colorado making the playoffs.
Fuck no.
There's a team that I'm using having no hips.
What?
What? No hips? Like, what are we talking about?
No. Colorado's not making the playoff.
Like, what are we talking about? What?
That's
If Colorado,
insane.
listen, Colorado making a 12-team playoff at what seed?
Right.
Like, what video game are we using that Colorado's making the playoffs? That's essentially what I'm trying to say.
They're making the playoffs with South Dakota State.
What was South Dakota State doing that was giving Colorado such a tough time that UCF couldn't do?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about these teams in the Midwest, the North Dakotas, South Dakotas. Those boys are just Wisconsin linemen who aren't big enough. That's it. They all doing the same thing. They out there, when we talking about people throwing hay and cutting wood, ain't nothing to do out there but throw hay and cut wood.
Cut that wood, throw that hay.
So, and especially for Colorado, where your offensive linemen are worried about how many diamonds in their chain. Oh yeah,
I want a diamond in my chain.
I can see how things can spiral.
Well, speaking of things that spiral, let's take some time to give some condolences. Last couple of days we had a few legends pass away.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Dikembe Mutombo. R.I.P. Pete Rose. Take just a quick moment of silence, prayers, thoughts, condolences for their families and their loved ones.
A lot of famous people have died this week.
Mm-hmm. NBA Media Day. Any thoughts on the Mavs?
I haven't been this excited for a basketball season in a very long time.
All that off of that Clay Thompson edition?
It was more than Clay. I forgot everything that they added. They had Quentin Grimes. This team has a lot of versatility, man. I feel like this team, would however you want to play, the Mavericks can match you. You want to play small, Mavericks can play small. You want to play big, Mavericks play big. You want to run and gun, the Mavericks can run and gun. Luka looks slim. He's healthy. I have not been this excited about a Mavs season in a long time, and you know what that means? It's about to be a terrible season. But for right now, I have not been this hopeful for the Mavs team since the 2012 season after they won a championship.
You're that afraid of y'all having a bad season because you're so excited for this season.
Yeah. Usually when I'm really excited, like I was really excited about the Eagles this season. Not going great so far. And this is the year. So if they do well this year, next summer, Luka, he's already eligible to sign the largest contract in NBA history. I feel like it'll be a lot easier for him to sign his name if they have a good year this year.
I think Luka's gonna have no problem signing that deal regardless. They ain't got nobody else better to pay, and they don't want to see him walk to another team.
That's true. But he can sign the largest contract in NBA history next June.
I'd rather go and get to it. Listen, here's what I'm gonna say. LeBron and Bronny, this is incredible for the league and y'all. We still got to know how to defend the screen, the back screen, the cutting and motion and all that type of stuff.
So you are not excited. I'm really excited to see the Clippers implode because they did you see what Norman Powell said about Paul George?
Norman Powell let the clip fly.
Norman Powell said it was addition by subtraction. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, which means Kawhi and PG may have had some.
Well, Kawhi said, yeah, he wasn't our savior. Well, sir, you never healthy.
Wait, he said what?
I think Kawhi said Paul George is not our savior.
He is not your savior. He is not your savior. He is not your savior. Wait a minute. Mr. Monroe, give him half.
Let me find the quote. I could have been faked. Yeah, here it is. Kawhi Leonard on Clippers losing Paul George. I don't feel like it's going to be harder for me personally. For anybody I'm on the court with, I don't look at him to be my savior. They said stop podcasting, start coming through in the clutch.
Like what? I'm in disbelief at that.
Sounds like they did not like him that much, which is crazy because he was like the only consistent player there.
Bro, that's why I'm sitting here dumbfounded. Yo, PG, I remember a few games when PG was giving people buckets. Yo, he must, you know what? And I think old buddy, what's his name?
Norman?
Norman, not it wasn't Norman Powell, it was Evan Turner.
Oh yeah.
It sounded like Evan Turner's biggest beef with Paul George was that it was the outside noise that he used to kind of like fuel his own internal motivations, which kind of made it seem like he was never really that sure in himself, which maybe is why he was so on and off again, on again, off again.
I mean, it
Maybe,
makes sense.
like he's a head case is essentially what I think they're trying to people are alluding to. That he just may be a real head case.
And when you can say the thing about James Harden in the playoffs, right? How many times have we seen James Harden, great regular seasons, playoffs, forget how to play basketball?
Man, there was a period of time between probably like 2016 to 2020, 2021. I was just sure James Harden was going to at least win one.
Yeah, me too.
He said, "We is not your savior. He is not your savior.
He is not your savior.
He is not your savior." Any thoughts ahead of Bad Blood this weekend for WWE?
Seth Rollins and Brunson Reed, sign me up, man. Like that match last night, it
Oh,
wasn't pretty.
you
Who
think
cares?
You think that's what's going to happen?
I mean, Seth cost him the match against Braun Strowman, yeah. Because didn't Brunson Reed take Seth out?
Yeah, but I don't know how many more. I'm tired of this whole Brunson Reed just jumping motherfuckers and then getting jumped and then doing.
But that's the point. Like, I love the fact that there's a man his size, pause, that all he does is just go around and wreck shit all day. That's what he here for. He not here for no belt. He not here to climb the ladder. He don't like you. He just gonna beat your ass around the arena all night. I love that. It's given big, great Khali energy when he first came. Braun Strowman when he first hit the scene. That's how you build giants. They just go around beat people up all day. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And a story with Seth Rollins, that's a great sign from Triple H.
Why? It says he's getting some.
Yeah, like when Triple H says, "All right, you ready to go toe to toe with Seth?" Because Seth is the guy, right? Like Seth's the guy on Raw, Roman's the guy on SmackDown.
He's one of the guys on Raw.
Yeah, but he's one. Yeah, okay, he's one of the biggest stars in the world.
Now that
you get to go toe to toe with him. That's a Triple H. Seth Rollins just don't beef with anybody.
What are your thoughts on CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's exchange of words?
I think they hate each other in real life, and that's
great.
I do too. I think they hate each other.
Yeah, they do. I do too. And I'm like so confused on what this beef is really about.
I legit think that Drew McIntyre felt some kind of way that CM Punk just gets to come back, and all of a sudden he's king of the mountain. And all he does is wreck shit everywhere he goes. He choking somebody. He doing something backstage. You get thrown out the club.
Hey, but he be saying these. What's funny is CM Punk don't be like disclaiming that he did the stuff. He just be justifying all this shit.
Yeah,
there's the reason why.
And if you're Drew, like he been putting in work, and all of a sudden this motherfucker come back, and he won a challenge for titles, and man, fuck him. And that's the genesis of this whole beef. And I love it. Bring back hate in wrestling.
Who do you think wins this one, Drew or CM Punk?
I think CM Punk wins. I think CM Punk is going to get the better of this program. But at the same time, CM Punk has nothing. If he loses, it does not damage him as much as it would damage Drew McIntyre if Drew loses.
That's why I think Drew's going to win.
So yeah, let me switch my answer. I think Drew's going to win because CM Punk, he's made no matter what. And bam, I have started watching that Vince McMahon documentary, and I don't know why he agreed to it.
I'm trying. Netflix is so annoying when you don't live in the house and it does that are you traveling thing. Like, shut up, bitch.
Shut up. You know, YouTube TV does that too. Like when we're traveling, like when we were in New York, I was trying to watch a game, and it was like, "Are you traveling? I pay my money. I should be able to
Yeah.
watch this wherever I want to."
Yeah, like, yeah, I am traveling, and it's none of your damn business where I'm at. So why you asking?
Why you asking? You gonna take my money out of my account?
You the feds or something?
Right? Get out my face, man.
Um, Danny, ISO and tell me where we stand in the WNBA playoffs. Asia got a well-deserved MVP, right?
Yeah, Asia won unanimous MVP. Caitlin Clark won unanimous Rookie of the Year. Nafisa Collier won Defensive Player of the Year. And Dejanay Carrington won Most Improved. I thought Dejanay might be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year too, but she won Most Improved. Playoffs are on right now. Vegas is playing New York. They are down 7 with 2 minutes in the third after getting off to a hot start.
So you're
Sabrina
saying,
Ionescu has been a revelation this playoffs. Like last year in the finals, I don't know. Did you watch the finals last year?
yeah, I watched finals.
They were the Aces targeted her. She was thrown up on the sideline, and this round against Vegas, yeah, she putting boots to asses. She's been the X factor. I think if the Aces lose tonight, they'll be down 0-2 going home Friday. I don't know if they make it out of Vegas, and it's because Sabrina's playing so well. I didn't know Sabrina had this in her. Like she just blocked a shot. She's playing defense. She's hitting her threes. Asia's putting up numbers, of course. There's still a quarter to go. It's just impressive how Sabrina's been playing. Who else playing? The Sun and the Lynx played tonight. Connecticut won game 1, not Minnesota. That is a typo on my end. Connecticut won game 1. I don't know if Minnesota is ready. Their late game execution game 1 just it wasn't good. It wasn't that of a team who was ready to win the title compared to Connecticut, who has been there before. I'm interested to see if they let Alyssa Thomas continue to be as physical as she's been. I think they should. It's the playoffs, so we're here for.
So you think we get a Connecticut versus Liberty finals rematch?
That's what it feels like. Which is a great storyline because Jonquel Jones played for. No, there's a steal. She played for the Sun, and she left the Sun because they could never get over the hump and win a title. Like she won MVP, and they just kept losing in the final. So she goes to New York. So that'd be a very interesting storyline. Jonquel trying to win a title over her old team.
Oh man, how you get the steal and blow the bunny?
Yeah, how you get blocked by Courtney Vandersloot is like 37. You can't let her block your shot, Jackie. Just go straight up. That's it. And this is what I mean. Like New York is just they're getting their lick back from last year.
They said they heard that shit that y'all said.
Yeah.
If the Liberty beat the Aces, you think it's a clear cut case for them to be the favorites to really win this thing?
Yeah, 100%. If New York beats the Aces, I would expect them to beat whoever comes out on the other side of the bracket.
Bang. Oof.
And I'm also interested to see how so there's a Golden State is getting an NBA team, not an NBA team.
So
all right, Kelsey. Yeah, Portland is in 2 years. Golden State is next year. The Valkyries. The NBA announced that the expansion draft is going to be December 6th. Each team gets to protect 6 players, and then the Valkyries get to pick one unprotected player from each team to build their roster. So very intriguing stuff.
So they basically take one player from everyone's roster.
Yep. So there are 12 teams. Each team is going to be able to protect 6 players, and the other players that they don't protect go into a pool, and then the Valkyries get to pick one player from each team who is not protected to join their roster.
If you don't get picked, you just stay at your team?
Yeah, you just stay at your team. So the WNBA said they're not going to make those lists public, the players that were protected, which doesn't make sense because we can just figure out who it is. I don't know why you wouldn't just make that list public, but yeah.
Or, well, how y'all going to figure it out?
I mean, it's going to be Asia's going to be protected, Kelsey, Jackie Young.
But all you're going to know is who gets picked. You're not going to know.
Yeah, you're not going to know who was protected and unprotected. So you're not going to know.
Yeah, I would keep that private too. Y'all need to know that.
That's intrigue.
Yeah. Why Portland in 2 years though?
I don't know, but I think it's for the next two. And I think Canada's getting a team too. So I think it's Golden State this year, Canada next year, Portland 2 years. I mean, the year after that.
And then how do you think they're gonna how they do they have any announcements of how they're going to update the standings and stuff like that?
No,
Playoff seedings and games and whatnot.
no, that hasn't come to fruition yet. But I'm assuming it's going to be the same because remember, their playoff format isn't based on conference. It's just whoever the top, because there are 12 teams, top 8 get in. So if we're expanding to 15, 16 teams, it might be top 10. Or it might be top 9, top seed gets a bye.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants a bye in basketball. No one gets that in regular.
I mean, you get it in the NCAA tournament. No, you don't. You don't get an NCAA tournament.
You just don't have to play like the first 4 in or first 4 out. You do it. Like, you get like the buys in the conference tournament.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
But even then, each conference tournament is different. Some teams like some conferences structured their conference championship game so that the number 1 overall seed basically plays on the second to last day, and like all they gotta do is win and get in. So that's how they protect, making sure their best team has the best chance to get into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's true. So, but I'm just hopefully, and I think the next city to get a team, hopefully, is Philadelphia. So
don't no woman need to be subjected to Philly fans.
That's the only other team that makes sense. That's the only city that makes sense. Denver. Well, Denver had their chance, they blew it.
Now we listen. We got to find a good old fashioned American city. We can't give the the fine women of the WNBA a home.
Like, where can they find you? Where can they find you? That's absurd.
Listen, we see how y'all act towards Sixers fans. What are y'all going to do during a rough stretch of WNBA play? Y'all going to tell them
who is y'all?
Philly fans.
Well, here's the thing about the WNBA though. It's in the summer, so all you got is baseball and WNBA. I feel like
so now it's when black folks is hot.
It's air conditioned. Man. And Philadelphia just approved the Sixers arena moving, I believe, in Chinatown. No, it's going to stay in Philadelphia. It's like staying downtown. Well, bam, the Detroit Shock did exist. That was a WNBA team, and then they moved to Tulsa, and then they moved to Dallas.
And now that's the Dallas whatever they are?
Yeah, the Dallas Wings were started in Detroit. So Detroit blew it.
Shout out Detroit. Danny, where can the people find you?
Find me on X at DannyOcean41. The Eagles are off this week, so I'm going to be a little bit happier. Life might be easier.
Yo, the Eagles suck, yo. I can't believe we as a team lost to them.
Why? They were better than you.
No, y'all weren't really. Y'all were the better team for the course of a few minutes in that game. But over the course of that game, y'all weren't the best team on the field.
Eagles turned the ball over 3 times and still won. Sounds like the better team to me.
We gotta have an open dialogue about Jalen Hurts.
Well, we can have that conversation, but
this is ridiculous. I be watching the Eagles game sometimes, not even as a hater. I just be watching as a spectator, and I just be like, "Yo, dog, he
be doing some real boneheaded shit."
Yo, some of them picks, I'll just be like, yo, dog, I want you to, I hate when they do the freeze frame because the freeze frame don't do it any better. But every time they do the freeze frame and they start circling somebody, I'm sitting there like, who were you looking at?
I saw this tweet and it just infuriated me. When Carson Wentz was an Eagle, he used to do this thing, and Jalen does it too. When a pass rusher runs by him, they act like they can't come back and tackle them. And that's how all these fumbles, like Jalen will evade a pass rusher. And it's like, you missed me. You can't tackle me anymore. And he forgets that they can just turn around and slap the ball out of his hand. That shit happened once a week. Like Carson Wentz did it. Carson would elude a defender and just forget it was 11 people on the field. It's like, oh, you're on the sideline. You have to go. And then they come back and smack the ball out of his hand.
And they always probably have that stupid ass look when people fumble a ball.
Like the only other quarterback that does it is Josh Allen. Josh Allen do that shit too. Like Josh Allen get by a defender and act like they can't come back to get him.
Yeah, but he kind of big though.
But he big. That's what I'm saying, right? Like he can kind of get away with that. He fumbles a lot too. But He's just bigger than Jalen. He's better. So you can do that when you're better.
How worried are you? Scale from 1 to 10.
Uh, it would be an 8, but right now it's a 6 because Devontae, AJ, and Lane Johnson are coming back.
It should be a 10. Y'all stink.
For me, I'm more concerned with the defense because they only play well. They can't stop the run out of 11 personnel. They play better with 5-man fronts. So, what they'll do is they'll walk Zach Baum down and be that 5th person, but that only leaves you with 2 linebackers. So you're susceptible, but that's when they're at their best. That's when Jalen Carter is at his best in 5-man fronts. But Vic Fangio does not like 5-man fronts. He likes 4-man fronts. And you can just double Jalen and give everyone else one-on-ones.
And I would every time.
And that's what they're doing. And that's how you run out of 11 personnel. You just double Jalen Carter. You run away from Jordan Davis because he's too slow. Whoever Bryce Huff is or Josh Sweat, run at the ends. Because teams really don't run up the middle against the Eagles. It's where are the ends? Run at him.
Maybe that's a smart way of doing it. A smart way to attack a defense when you know what you're doing.
Yeah. So, where can the people find you, D?
Los D Mix, LOSDEEMIX. You may catch me outside. I be DJing and whatnot. Even impromptu. I had an impromptu gig on Friday.
I saw on Instagram. I didn't realize you had a gig.
Yeah, it was an impromptu gig. And that 4-hour set, I was really in my bag.
Streets love Los D Mix.
Listen, I had a couple who was originally from New York. They live in Seattle. They were just in Portland or wherever for the night. And my man was like, nah, I have to follow you. I got to come every time you DJ if this energy as you on. One dude sent me like $10 via Apple Cash as a tip. Pause. Then the next day, he sent me like 5-6 messages trying to figure out if I was DJing at night and where he should try to pull up through.
See? Good night, Bam. Thank you for saving people from fires. You're a real hero.
Thanks, Bam. Thanks, Kyle. Listen, get us some music to get up out of here, too.
But yeah, Eagles will be fine. I think the Eagles will be fine.
I think the Eagles are.
I don't think they're going to go where they want to go, but I think they'll be good enough to make the playoffs. That offense is too good.
I think them boys too good.
Okay, well, you can find us Speak on _pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. D, take us home.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear this?
I can hear it.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, actually, let me say this. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes in life, you are going to meet someone that really beters you deep in your soul. Everything that they do pisses you off because everything that they're about is so anti everything that you stand for. Here's what I want to say to that person out there that may be a little frustrated at the bitch assness that goes on out here. In work, out of work, with friends, not with friends, with lovers, not with lovers. All you can do is control your emotions and your reactions.
That's right.
Everything after that, leave it to God.
Hey, turn that up.
Could have been in the world, but you were here with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate it. I want to thank my man, Danny Ocean. He's here with me every Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen.
Best part of my week.
It's a beautiful life we live, man. Shout out to my guy, Apollo, over my shoulder over here. We'll catch y'all next week, ladies and gentlemen. I need some motivation. Babyface Ray, name of this song. Ayuk for Adams, out your damn mind.
Bye, Bam. We gotta go. Now we delirious.
Bam is smoking something.
Good Lord. Good night.